Alright, here's how to play C minor bar chord. So if you're doing it with the Lil Wayne song, you need a capo. You gotta put it on the 4th fret. Then what you gotta do is take your first finger and put it on the 3rd fret relative to the capo. So 1, 2, 3. You're gonna keep it kind of flat because you're gonna do a bar chord, so don't put it up like that. Keep it like that. Normally you play notes on the tip, but for bar chords you gotta put it more on this part of your finger than on the tip. So you put it on the 3rd fret relative to the capo. Then you're going to take your 3rd finger and put it 2 frets over and 1 fret up. So that turns out to be the 5th fret. Then take your pinky and put it right above it. So you have a power chord. So make sure you can get to this step first. So it's a power chord. Then take your middle finger and put it on the 4th fret. And then with the top of this finger, that's why it's a bar chord. You should be able to hear that note. So this finger has to lay flat so that you're pushing this note down and the note on the high E string. Another tip is with the tip of this finger, touch this string, not on top of it, but just let it touch it. So in case you hit that string, you're not going to hear it. So notice when I'm strumming, I'm not going to try to hit that string, but in case I do, you won't hear it. So once again, it's first finger on 3 relative to the capo, which the capo is on the 4th fret. 1, 2, 3. Keep it flat. Take your 3rd finger, put it on the 5th fret. Put your pinky right above it. And your middle finger, it's kind of hard to see on the camera, but it needs to be right there. And then bar on top. So in the Lil Wayne song, it's like. So it's the last chord. Or if you watch my video, there's another way to do it where you do the small chords. And then the C minor chord would just be this. But that's going to sound really bad if you're doing the full chord. So you got to decide, are you going to do the little chords or the small chords? But it sounds like you're doing the big chords. So one problem with bar chords though is really people put their finger up like that. What you want is it needs to be flat on the side a little bit. So it doesn't need to be straight up and down like that. It doesn't need to be straight up and down like that. That's too awkward. It kind of curves on its side a tiny bit. Now, these are a little bit tough to do if you don't have someone in person to kind of guide your fingers. The other thing is look at look at these fingers. Beginners, they'll put their fingers too straight and then their fingers will go like that. So on the guitar it would look like funky like that. But you don't want that to happen. Here's a good trick for learning how to do bar chords. You do this. You do Spock. Tuck this finger under. Learn how to do this. You can do this when you're not playing guitar during the day. These fingers are curled in that shape, and it's a flat surface right there. It's not going to happen if your fingers are straight. Now I can't get a flat surface. They have to be curled and stuck together. Just like that. Going in, being able to do this really quick as a guitar player is really, kind of hurts, but is really necessary. You gotta go. So watch, as I switch to the chord, watch how fast these fingers are gonna come together. Watch. Watch these fingers. See, the first thing I did is those fingers in midair were going into that shape so I could drop this down. Because this finger is easy to drop into place. This is easy to drop into place. These aren't. So here's what beginners do. They would go. And then the song sounds horrible. So watch these fingers one more time. Watch how they're going to go like that in midair. I'll do it slow. This is G, J major 7, C major 7. Now watch these fingers. They're going together, and then I drop the whole thing down. So So one way that you can really learn it once you got this, 3rd fret, 5th fret, 5th fret, 4th fret, 1st fret. One way you can really learn how to get that feeling is you do the bar chord the correct way. Then lift your fingers up a tiny bit, but don't let these fingers come apart, and put it back down. Just learning how to do this, because beginners, this is hard. Once you play guitar for a while, this is like the easiest thing in the world. Or if you can get braver and like move your hand, and put it back. Because you got to get used to not letting these fingers come apart. And when you do power chords, it's the same deal. Power chords are just the bottom. It sounds bad what I'm doing, but see these fingers, they were never coming apart. So it's like one finger. I would also recommend learning how to do C minor down here. So if you do it down here, it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 3rd fret, 5th fret, 5th fret, 4th fret, bar. It's harder down here because the guitar is wider, so you got to get used to spacing your fingers more. 3rd fret, 5th fret, 5th fret, 4th fret, 3rd fret. This finger's flat. It's the exact same deal. It's just wider up here. So hopefully this helped. If not, bar chords are real hard. So it's like, well, it's kind of like riding a bike. Once you get it, it's easy, but it's hard to figure out how to do it. So you sometimes need to get someone in person. Like when I teach this to my students, I just grab their fingers and I curve them and put them like that, because a lot of them end up too straight. So you can even grab your own fingers. A lot of my students, I'll see them, they'll have to like grab their fingers themselves and put them like that with the curve, and then they'll have to grab this finger. But the more you do it, you'll start to figure it out. So I figured these out on my own. I didn't need a teacher. It just took like a week of just looking at the book, and then you just spend time like playing each note, making sure you're not hearing any. If you hear that, then you got to figure out what's going on. So anyways, hope that was helpful. If not, let me know. Bye.